I own a lot of Omega watches. It is a watch manufacturer that does not disappoint. You would always feel quality no matter if it was a 20 years old Seamaster or a newest Aqua Terra. As a watch brand that started in the 19th century, its DNA is connected to the old world. Even in its newest models, some of its designs reflect the old times, the golden age of art and designs where wristwatches are a jewelry of fantasy rather than anything toolish. Don't get me wrong, these watches are still very well made and just as tough as any other tool watches out there, but it makes you think more about its artistry and craftsmanship. The first watch we're going to talk about today is my Omega Ville Chronoscope. This piece is from the end of 2000s. It is 41mm wide with a sharp and intricate case design and nods to Omega's 1950s classics. Every time I look at it, I feel like I had a glimpse of the mid-century. It is 13mm thick, which is quite slim for a chronograph like this. And Omega has made a few different colors and dial designs. Mine had a striking red dial with black subdials. It has hand-applied hour markers and numerals and are perfectly finished. It has 3 subdials or recorders. A 30-minute recorder can be found at 3 o'clock position, and the continuous second subdial can be found at 9 o'clock. The star of the show is a fantastic retrograde 12-hour recorder with a double arc window takes the 6 o'clock position. Another star of the show is the date window. It features a multi-date date window that gives you yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It also comes with a great Frederick Piguet 1285 chronograph movement. This movement is equipped with supercar specs like column wheel, vertical clutch, and beautifully finished. It also has a 52 hours power reserve, but most importantly, it has a coaxial escapement. This escapement is a treasure left by English watchmaker George Daniels. It is a small piece of high horology component that is not only more stable than traditional escapement and also offers longer service intervals since it uses less oil and creates less friction. Nowadays, Omega has put coaxials in most of its modern watches, including the newest Moonwatch 3861. But most of my Omega pieces are not coaxial because many of them are older models. I can definitely talk more about my other Omega pieces in future episodes. But this escapement might be the greatest horology invention in recent watchmaking history. At least until very recently, the Grand Seiko's invention of dual impulse escapement. I would love to own one of those movements eventually, but for now they are quite expensive. Here is a quick size comparison with my Lecoultre, which is also 41mm, and my Speedy Professional, which is 42mm. The Chronoscope actually feels the biggest out of the 3. The second piece is a very different one from the Chronoscope we just watched earlier, but it is too full of fantasy. When you look at the dial, you may find yourself lost between the striking blue color, the gem-cut indices, and the names of the cities of human civilization. And of course, the view of the Earth. It feels like you are a celestial looking down to the Earth from the cosmos, and the curved lines represent the timeline that warped by Earth gravity. And the list of cities around the dial will make world travelers lost in their memories. I am a world traveler, and if I were to leave Earth one day, this piece will represent my legacy. It is 43 millimeters wide, quite big, but for me it feels normal on my 7.5-inch wrist. And I do wear my 46 millimeter Breitling regularly, which is bigger, quite bigger than this. It has a 21 millimeter lug width, which is a little inconvenient. It is just over 14 millimeters thick, and it is, however, not that heavy. In general, I prefer a heavier watch. This piece weighs just over 90 grams on a leather strap. And for comparison, the Speedy Pro weighs a quite less 78 grams. At last, my Montblanc Nicholas Rilsac chronograph is quite a bit heavier at 106 grams. I purchased this one with a steel bracelet. Even though I love leather straps, but I still would want to keep the original bracelet around. I don't find most watch bracelet very comfortable to wear because I feel the edges are quite sharp. It won't bother most people, that's probably just me. Behind the dial lies the Omega's caliper 8938. This is a in-house caliper with coaxial escapement, just like the Chronoscope we saw earlier. But that one has a feather pivot movement, this one is Omega in-house. But the feather pivot movement is now manufactured Blancpain, which is in a higher category in the watchmaking industry. I think I might prefer a feather pivot movement rather than Omega's in-house. They are both very well finished and beautiful to look at. I noticed the balance wheel is black and it has small screws on it for fine timing adjustment. This caliper 8938 has a Worldtimer complication on top of the regular time-only caliper found in base Seamaster models. I think Omega's Worldtimer implication is very clever, but not as complicated as my other Worldtimer watches. Here is a quick comparison with my Breitling Worldtimer in action when traveling through time zones. So here they are, two very different Omegas. Both are coaxial, both have complications, yet so different and unique in their own ways. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos coming soon.